Welcome to round 7 of the Thundersport GB Championships for 2015. We're in Anglesey in North West Wales to bring you action from the Aprilia Super Teens, the Aprilia RRV 450s and also the Stock Twins and Super Twins. Let's get ready to rumble. It's GP Racing Dream. Welcome to Anglesey. The sun is gleaming down on us here for round 7 of 9 in the 2015 Championships. Championships to play for here. Some titles could be won here today. Probably not in this class though. The Aprilia RRV 450 GP, they are first onto the grid and there's not much splitting. Championship leaders Sam Wilford, Cameron Lee and Will Hodgson. No championship will be won here today, but it could take a little more shape. There's thumbs up from Aaron Clifford, who's second on the grid. It was Zach Corduroy on pole, who's coming into his own these last few rounds. Third on the grid for Will Hodgson, who dislocated his shoulder last time out at Rockingham. Sam Cox, another rider that has obviously come back into this class and who's doing well at a wet Rockingham. Sam Wilford, then championship leader, easy to pick out, number 35, grey and green leathers and a bright green helmet as well. Look like Will Hodgson that has the advantage, but we'll double check that in a moment as they exit the hairpin. It's actually Aaron Clifford, I was wrong. Then Will Hodgson, number 14, then Zach Corduroy, number 22. The LMB Formula 400s are out there as well. Number 50 just went through there, Lewis Barnes ahead of 99 Chris Gray. Championship is going to one of those two. It's still to be decided. At the moment, it's Barnes ahead of Chris Gray. Barnes is out there on the orange, white and black 400, Chris Gray on the blue, number 99. But in this one, they're all on identical 450 machines. Number 19 with the sort of Irish flag on his helmet there is Aaron Clifford, rider from County Meath, 8th overall in the championship coming into this weekend, but can still mathematically win it. That gives you an idea as to just how close these things are. And in the background there, a bike somersaulting, and that is that number 73, Cameron Tenzing Jenkins. Can be quite nasty there. We've seen a couple of crashes there over the years. On the exit of Peel Corner, the leaders make their way around the final turn. That's Keelan Owen running away as well. It is Cameron Tenzing Jenkins on the floor. Marshall just seeing to him, and the red flags have come out here. So that race will be stopped. Forget about it. Hopefully the riders that are involved are okay. Here we go then. The restart. Forget what you've just seen. It matters not. On pole position, Zach Corduroy. Zach, who has decided to change leathers from the bright yellow standout leathers to something that isn't quite so easy to pick out, but number 22, quick as ever. Into the banking we go. The top 4, it is Will Hodgson just ahead of Aaron Clifford in the early stages. Further back there, number 88, Jack Reed. Will Hodgson it is from Clifford, then Sam Wilford, the series leader in third place. Of course, Sam, don't forget, missed the round earlier on in the season or two because of the European Junior Cup. Sam Cox there almost getting beaten up as they try and find a line through Rocket Corner, but he stays on board. He didn't for long, and he's down. He's been wiped out, I think there. Sam didn't really know much about that one. He was getting beaten up on his way in, and by the time he got through, that was it. He got wiped out. Sam Cox has gone out of this race. I hope he's up and okay, and we'll see him out in the next one. And another rider getting sat up there. Was that Chris Gray? A move on Lewis Barnes, I think. Brilliant racing, but it's a bit of argy-bargy here at the moment. Aaron Clifford, that is, number 19, that leads from Will Hodgson. Then Sam Wilford in third place, number 35. And then I think Zach Corduroy. Zach, who's got a badly swollen right hand from a crash on Saturday practice here. Remember, it's Sunday bank holiday, Monday race weekend here in Anglesey. Zach had quite a nasty one, so he's got a swollen hand. He's struggling with that a bit, but he's a very quick rider. Clifford it is that leads from Will Hodgson. These two have got to try and stay ahead of the series leader Sam Wilford there in third place. Sam rarely finishes off the podium when he's here. There's Zach Corduroy just tucked up behind him, number 22. The rider I was just talking about from Blueberry. But a lot of aggressive moves going on into Rocket just a moment ago. There's a big gap then back to Cameron Lee and Danny Booth, number 64. Danny from the KJD racing machine. That's a rather bright helmet and colour scheme that's going on there for the KJD team. Good run this from Chris Gray. The two 400 boys there actually, Chris Gray and Lewis Barnes, well up the field. Of course, they're fighting for Formula 400 Championship at the moment. Lewis Barnes is in charge of that, so Chris Gray could do with every point that he can get, and he is right on the tail of that second gaggle of 450s. Here's Sam Wilford in third. He's got the inside line, and Zach Corduroy around the outside into target corner. How about that then? Stay on the tail, he says. I'm not sure Sam will want to do anything but after that move. I don't think you want Zach behind you with a move like that. Around the outside into target, that is impressive stuff. Zach obviously just looking to try and get some clear air here to catch up with these two boys out front. Will Hodgson and Aaron Clifford, who have been chopping and changing places themselves. There is number 55. That is Ross Simpson up ahead of Cameron Lee. Ross Simpson, another rider who slowly is starting to make some progress here. Another, a bit like Zach Corduroy, took a bit of time to get used to the 450 from the 125 Aprilia, but now starting to get a few decent results. Maybe he'll be on the podium again soon. There is the race leader though, Irish rider Aaron Clifford. It didn't take long for Zach Corduroy to bridge that gap though, did it? He's now right up with Aaron Clifford and number 14 Will Hodgson. Clifford taking a really tight entry into the final door and nearly out of the saddle. Will Hodgson has to divert and go wide, and they're all over the place here. Can't keep up with them. How on earth all three of them have stayed upright, I'm not sure. And Zach Corduroy may have just nipped through into the lead as he's wide. He's on the outside line. He's going to have another go. Zach Corduroy seeming to find grip on places of the circuit that others can't. Corduroy moves into second place, but Clifford would have had his heart in his mouth there as he made his way onto the start-finish straight. That all came from a really tight approach into the final turn and just got out of the saddle. Here comes Zach Corduroy trying to find some slipstream, pulls out. He in turn is being slipstreamed by Will Hodgson, who's now going to look to try and go from third to first, but settles for where he is. It is Zach Corduroy that leads from Aaron Clifford. Sam Wilford just weighing it all up. The championship leader in fourth wants nothing to do with it at the moment. Oh, now where's Will Hodgson just gone? Will Hodgson's just disappeared, and there he is, and he's limping away, and Will Hodgson's gone down there at Rocket. I just saw there was a bit of a gap back to Sam Wilford. There's Domestic Dave going to clear up the incident. Will Hodgson it is that has gone down, and that is big for this championship. Will was third overall, and after the points that he lost at Rockingham, that is a big dent to his championship chances, especially if Cameron Lee and Sam Wilford can get good results. As it stands, Cameron Lee is just inside the top 5. Sam Wilford, of course, in third. The battle for the win looks like it's going to be between Zach Corduroy and Aaron Clifford for the time being. There is the fight for fourth place between Ross Simpson on the JDF Aprilia, number 55, and Cameron Lee, number 58. Cameron, of course, who was the leader of the championship earlier on in the season, had a couple of rounds that he'd rather forget. It's just drifted away from him slightly, but it's still there just for him to play with. Now, I can understand what's going on now with the leathers, and that just shows you the sportsmanship. I was wondering why Zach Corduroy had green and black leathers on. They are Sam Wilford's spare leathers. That must have been because of the crash on Saturday from Zach. His leathers have been destroyed, and there's sportsmanship for you. Zach Corduroy has been lent leathers from one of his rivals, Sam Wilford. So good job, boys. Nice to see. Certainly confusing. There's no confusion over the winner though. Zach Corduroy picks up race 1 win here ahead of Aaron Clifford and Sam Wilford. Sam goes over there and says, thanks mate for taking points off me after you borrowed my leathers. And it is Ross Simpson that finishes in fourth ahead of Cameron Lee and Chris Gray. It's a good 6th place there for Chris, who wins the Formula 400 battle. top three then in the 450s, Zach Corduroy, Aaron Clifford and Sam Wilford. And in the 400s, it's Chris Gray, the winner from Lewis Barnes, and Andrew Carden.
LMB Formula 400 winner Chris Gray, fantastic. You must be chuffed to bits with that.
Yeah, I didn't have the best day yesterday, but yeah, this really made the weekend.
Well, it didn't look bad to me yesterday, but that's fantastic. Who do you want to thank, mate?
I thank CJ Gray Building Contractors, DLMOT Centre, Fabwell Metalworks, Jordan, James, JCA and my mum and dad.
Sam, third place. Unbelievable racing there at the front. I mean, that must have been quite difficult.
Yeah, it was. The front three gapped us a bit. We caught them back up, and then Will had a big high side at the top of the hill. But then there was a big gap in the front group. But no, it was a good race. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, no, it was good.
Obviously, you're collecting some points as much as you can anyway from the ones you've missed. But you must have some people to thank.
Oh yeah, definitely. My mum and dad, Jodie, Ian for lending us the bike this weekend, Ian and Myra, Gibbo, Jimmy, John for this nitro helmet and gloves and helping me out, and everyone who come up to support me.
Aaron, second place, but a win yesterday. Fantastic weekend so far.
Yeah, had an off and her first race yesterday, so finally coming back to redeem myself, so happy with that. Had a big moment out at the last corner and just allowed Zach to get by me, and he's riding amazing, just couldn't catch him.
Does it feel a bit easier just coming this far across the water rather than a big trek the other side?
Yeah, a lot easier.
Perhaps that's what it is. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors and my dad, Stevie, and Niall Power for helping me with the bike.
Well, Zach, after a nasty off, which, let's have a look at your hands, let's show your hand, and then you go and do what you did, back of the grid, 2 fantastic races yesterday. Today, with the Mega Lap system, put you on a nicer place, a nicer spot on the grid. Very, very eventful race, it has to be said. Let's hear your side.
Yeah, definitely eventful race. After Sam crashing, I split the group in front, managed to catch him. Like Aaron said, he had a massive moment kind of last corner. I took full advantage of that, got to the front, started putting in some good laps, and yeah, it turned out really well.
Were you ahead of Will Hodgson in that when he crashed?
Yeah, I was just in the lead, and yeah, apparently it was a really big crash. I hope he's out for the next race.
He went very high. Who would you like to thank?
Massive thanks to my mum and dad, Rich for coming and supporting. Massive thanks to the Wilfs families for lending the levers, and a massive get well soon to Will, who's in hospital at the moment.
Yes, we echo those comments as well. Join us again after the break for the Super Twins. Welcome back to a beautiful Anglesey here for race 2 in the show. The GP2 Super Twins. It's Johnny Towers that lines up on pole position. He's been a mighty threat in the last few rounds. Just behind him is Brad Peary. He's currently third overall in the Super Twins Championship. You just saw James Folkard there. Number 119 is Aaron Clifford, by the way. He's on a different coloured machine here for this race. James Folkard can become champion here today of this class. Number 11 over there, the third place on the grid. Away we go then from the line. That bike that's number 119 Aaron Clifford is on is a Suzuki 650, so we'll see how he gets on. There's a lot of jostling for positions going on into turn 1. We're on board here with Johnny Towers. That is Brad Peary that flies through on him, and just underneath him there is James Folkard. So often this season we've been watching Brad Peary and James Folkard fight it out. More recently, Johnny Towers has been a regular feature on the podium in this class on the Edge Racing Suzuki 250. We're on board with him now as he tries to pull alongside the Aprilia 550 of James Folkard, who really just needs to finish a couple of races here to be crowned champion. Brad Peary has had a series of mechanical issues over the last few rounds, and it's not going to quite happen for him, and that is a massive hit there between Johnny Towers and James Folkard, and somehow they both stay on. Johnny Towers doing his best to try and nudge James Folkard out of the championship. We saw an incident between them both at Alton Park, remember that, into the final turn at Lodge just a couple of rounds ago, and nearly had a repeat effort there going into Rocket. Well, that has given a bit of breathing space now to Brad Peary, who leads. Number 14 is that in second place. Will Hodgson across the line, or is that Aaron Clifford? Couldn't quite get the race number. Let's see. I think it is Will as we go across the line. Oh, there's a great shot there. Look at the shades of Dan Taylor's dad, keeping himself cool on pit wall. Dan Taylor, of course, leading the stock twins class and second overall in the super twins. Brad Peary pulls away into the distance already, ahead of Will Hodgson there, number 14. Then Johnny Towers, we're on board of him now. Johnny Towers getting onto the power, trying to pull alongside Will Hodgson, who does so up the inside and now moves into second. Well, he doesn't mind getting up close and personal, does he, Johnny Towers? James Folkard, oh, blimey, a bit of a wobble from Will Hodgson as well. James Folkard has regrouped after pretty much being assaulted off the circuit just a lap earlier. Folkard's championship hope still alive. There is 119, Aaron Clifford. Then it's number 1, the reigning champion, but for how much longer? Sam Wilford on the grey and green Aprilia 550. Just saw Sam Cox going through there as well. Kia McGreevy is out there on a number 70 Kajiva. That's interesting to see. Not seen a Kajiva racing in some time. And there is a change for that's Folkard going up ahead of Aaron Clifford. So Folkard's making up ground. Paul Cunvin. It is, and that's Will Hodgson who's gone down. Will Hodgson is down and out of the race. He was in second place, and Will goes out. Further back there is number 6. That is Jimmy Buchanan. Nice to see Jimmy out there again. There's something on the circuit there over at the banking. Not sure what that is. Is that I don't know what that is. Is that something off a bike or a glove or something? Not really quite sure what that is. There's Folkard going through on Clifford. There is Sam Wilford. Then Kia McGreevy. Then behind Kia McGreevy is Dan Taylor, the Stock Twins champion of last year and the championship leader of this year so far as well. There's Johnny Towers still keeping Brad Peary on us. Then Folkard and Aaron Clifford. Wow, can hardly keep a breath here with what's gone on in this race so far. There's beautifully turned out machine. We just saw there, number 35, Mark Biswell on the Bizzle Bike Sport Honda. There is number 97, then Brad Peary from Kendall on the Diamond H Racing Kawasaki, just up ahead of Johnny Towers. I suppose the question is really, what will these boys in the top 3 in the championship get up to next year? James Folkard was already, looks like he's going to be moving into GP1 for next year. He's had a GP1 race win here already this weekend. Dan Taylor, will he stay in the Stock Twins or will he move on? Brad Peary, he's certainly not getting any shorter, is he? You have to think that he's probably going to be destined for a 600 or maybe 1,000. So to wait and see what happens next year with the likes of Brad Peary. Johnny Towers edges a bit closer now then to Brad Peary that last time around. Oh wow, Johnny Towers a 111.1, and that is a new lap record for Johnny Towers. He's taken the record away from a Northern Irishman that I know will probably be watching this show, and he'll be gutted to know that his lap record is gone. Marty Lennon's record finally gone. A race winner, of course, from Thundersport over the years. There's Paul Cunvin, who leads the Street Fighters at the moment. He's one step away from getting that championship. Mick Riddle as well. Mick, one of our Royal Air Force reserve riders, who's backed by the Royal Air Force Motorsport Association. Now on board with Johnny Towers then in second place through target turn 1. The pink metallic helmet up ahead of him is Brad Peary. They go into the banking, this hairpin here. Slightly different lines from the pair of them. Straight on the power then again for Johnny Towers. He's definitely got a bit of an advantage when it comes to a bit of grunt, hasn't he? Coming out of the corners into Church, slightly wide, but back on the power again. You can just see he's got just a little bit more grunt, Johnny Towers, at the moment. Now he's using the slipstream to his advantage. He's right on the tail of Brad Peary. Is he close enough for a move? Not this time. Peary remains the race leader. Into Rocket in, flick the bike right, slightly off camber into Rocket out. On the power again, then up towards Peel Corner, named after the late great John Peel, believe it or not. And then downhill towards the Corkscrew. Beautiful views. There's Paul Cunvin, mentioned him a moment ago, from Kings Lynn. There's Sam Cox. Sam Cox, who, of course, had that big crash in the race we saw just before the break. Nice to see that he is actually okay. He's up and he'll be ready to fight in race 2 later on, but The moment in the Super Twins, Brad Peary it is with the advantage. I just wonder whether James Folkard a bit further back is just thinking to himself, I don't really want to push this at the moment. I'm on for a championship. There he is up ahead of Keir McGreevy. Has to be said that James Folkard, sorry, that's actually Sam Wilford up ahead of Keir McGreevy. It has to be said, James Folkard, what a record he's got now on Aprilia machinery. Of course, he was the Super Team champion. He was a 450 champion. Now, looks like he might be a Super Twins champion on a 550. There's a lead change though here. Johnny Towers, it looks like, might just got the inside of Brad Peary. Brad could see that one coming. He allowed him through. Had no choice really about it, but Brad will try and now fight back. Johnny Towers has been putting in a series of decent laps on lap record pace. But it is going to be James Folkard that will just edge one step closer to the championship. And at the moment, Folkard on for a podium. He's in 3rd place, and he's a good 2 or 3 seconds ahead of Aaron Clifford now. Nice to see Aaron out there on a different bike. He's obviously having a little go out there. Last lap flag is out there. Towers it is from Peary. Does Peary have an answer for him in the closing stages of this race? There is James Folkard. Then Aaron Clifford, 119. Then we've got a couple of back markers. Then there's Sam Wilford, last year's Super Twin champion on the IDWE Aprilia 550 that he runs in this class, and the 450 of course. Sam looking to become the 450 champion for 2015. Johnny Towers just got to put a couple more corners together here, and it looks like he's broken Bradley Peary in this race. Johnny will be delighted with this one. He races in the pre-national 600 class as well, but I have heard from various sources that he does love winning a Super Twin race against the young whippersnappers. Still, Sam Wilford going to have to fight for that 5th place with Keir McGreevy. Paul Cumpin is going to finish in 7th by the looks of things overall and win the Street Fighter race. Stock Twins looks like it's going the way of Dan Taylor as well. He can't be many more results away from clinching that championship. The checkered flag goes out though, and for race 1 in the Super Twins, Johnny Towers has got it. He crosses the line to take the victory ahead of Brad Peary, who takes 2nd, and James Folkard with 3rd. Looks like James might just wrap up the championship in the next race, depending on results. Clifford finishes 4th. Sam Wilford, the reigning champion, maybe for 1 race more, gets it ahead of Keir McGreevy. And there is the top 3 in the Super Twins: Johnny Towers, Brad Peary and James Folkard. Then we have Dan Taylor, Greg Badiro and Aaron Bradley in the Stock Twins, and in the Street Fighters, Cunvin, Biswell and Mick Riddle.
Johnny, unbelievable weekend you're having. You must be delighted.
I'm absolutely over the moon, Sid. It's everything that I sort of hoped for and dreamed of this weekend is just sort of panning out. That race was the Super Twin is the one I always want to really win. I work hard on that. Ali always pushing me on the bike to get it a bit better. After James turning me over yesterday, I was really keen to try and get things right today. But Bradley Peary, honestly, I had nothing left. I chased him down, and I was absolutely all in and just managed to get it, I think, with 1 or 2 laps to go. So, yeah, brilliant weekend, sir, over the moon. And, yeah, all the lads who helped me out. The competitors as well, it's bringing me on as a rider. Motorbikes are my life. I love motorbikes. I work with them Monday to Friday and then riding them on the weekend. So I'm enjoying it at the minute.
Street Fighter winner, Paul. I mean, unbelievable, really. You're having a great year, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going really well. I had a nightmare day yesterday. I had some problem with my clutch. I've no idea why, but we couldn't get it to work. I strapped my dummy out, threw my toys all over the place. Couldn't get it to work. I had to take out my fancy slipper clutch, put in the standard one, and managed to get everything working and that for this morning. So yeah, completely different day to yesterday, but yeah, I had a mega time. But I've got loads of people to thank. I've had loads of help this weekend. I'd like to thank James Jones from work, who come down to help, Carl Doyle and his dad, Chris Otley of Otley Autos for sorting out my exhaust, Adrian Teasdale, who took me a tyre at the last minute yesterday, helped out, and Johnny Evans and Steve Evans, they paid for another set of tyres this weekend and some other stuff, and my brother Nick and his mates and my girlfriend Mimi, and the RAF MSA, Pitty's Custom Vinyls and all of Team RAF.
What can I say? You really have set the standard in these Stock Twins this year, and it's looking like, I don't like to preempt at commentators' curse, but it's looking very good.
Yeah, to be fair, it is. I'm possibility I could wrap it up today. I don't want to because my missus, unfortunately, she's not here this weekend, and I want her to be here to celebrate that. So, all weekend's been absolutely fantastic. 2 wins yesterday, win today, broke that record yesterday. To be honest, I wasn't happy in that race. Don't know why. Pressure's probably getting to me. I'm more focused on my championship now instead of the Super Twins, which I know I've lost second place now. I've got to wrap this one up before I can start challenging the front runners again. So, no, we'll come back in the next one and see if we can feel a bit more comfy. But we did what we needed to do today.
The Dunlop Aprilia Super Teens featuring riders aged 12 to 18 up next after this break. It's time for the Aprilia Super Teen Challenge. Dunlop tyres for all, the same machinery. Max Cook lines up on pole position, the standout rider in this series so far this year, with a different number for this weekend. Normally rides the number 30, for this weekend rides the number 130, and that's in memory of his late granddad who sadly passed away, and he used to ride with number 13, and so you can kind of see what they're doing there. 13, 30, 130. Nice touch there from Max Cook, who is not too far away from clinching this championship. If you're looking in the background and going, what's going on there? It's split starts here because there are also the Thundersport 500 Cup riders out there. Max Cook it is that has the overall lead. A few rounds ago, it looked like he was closely fighting for this championship along with Charlie Atkins, but Charlie Atkins has been a bit beaten up of late. Had a few rounds where he's injured himself and doesn't quite work out for the rookie. You can just see Charlie Atkins there actually, pint-sized rider with the orange bib flapping away in the breeze here at Anglesey. A thoroughly spectacular day here in northwest Wales. It can be disgusting here if the weather turns sour, but it's looking all right at the moment, and it's looking very good for Max Cook. I don't think, looking at yesterday's results, these young lads and young ladies that we have from time to time are going to be able to do much about him. He is lapping a good couple of seconds quicker than them, and he picked up both race wins yesterday. Every chance that he could become Nitro Newcomer champion himself here this afternoon. Will he become the outright Aprilia Super Team champion? Well, it could be here, it might be at our next round at Donington Park. So he leads, second place a bit closer. There's number 55 Jack Scott, and you've got a number of riders that can fight for that second spot. Alex Wood, number 26, Freddie Crane, number 81. Freddie Crane, the only rider in the top 8 at the moment that has actually spent more than a season in this class. He was in this championship as a rookie last year. The rest are all rookies this year, and I can tell you there's some. You have to stay tuned when it comes to Aprilia Super Teens and it comes to the future of the class. There's some rather exciting bits of gossip floating around about what is in the future for this series. I can't give away anything just yet, but it is rather exciting, I think so anyway, and I think it's the right move. We've been wondering what might just happen. Of course, we know that the two strokes, for now anyway, don't have too much of a future, although you wouldn't be that surprised to see two-stroke racing, clean two-stroke racing back again at some time in the distant future. But certainly not too many years left for the production 125 Aprilia, despite the fact that it has been a wonderful, wonderful machine. And so many famous riders have graced an RS125 over the years. I don't need to list the names. You can of course go on to the website to check it all out. If you're a youngster watching this and you're thinking, well, I want to race in this class, then you need to get yourself onto apriliachallenge.net, and you'll find out all the information on there. Of course, Ian and Myra Newton and Jimmy and Gibbo, everyone that's been involved over the last few years, continue to work tirelessly to make sure that the Super Teens runs the way it does, and that the 450s of course are going well, and there's all sorts of other bits and bobs going on over there. Ian Newton as well has got James Folkard and Joe Burns on an Aprilia RSV4 as well, so Aprilia and Piaggio UK still working hard to find the right solutions. At the moment, Max Cook it is that looks like he's going to etch his name onto that famous Aprilia Super Team trophy. Freddie Crane here, number 81. He's having a good go. Freddie's had some bad luck over the last few rounds. His dad has been scratching his head. They've been having all sorts of problems with the bike. They couldn't really put their finger on what's wrong. They're finicky, these two-strokes. They really are. There's number 96. That's Rhys Irwin, who was fighting for a podium last time out in the wet at Rockingham. There's Alex Wood, though, number 26, with the bright leathers, just trying to find a way past Freddie Crane. This is for the battle for second place. If you're wondering where the leader is, he's checked out already. He might just finish this race a couple of days before everyone else at the moment. He is that quick compared to this lot at the moment, Max Cook. The surprising thing is, and I suppose the real shame for Max at the moment, is that he's not really got anyone, certainly when they're dry races, not got that many people to fight with, and that in turn might be holding him back in terms of his development himself. I can't say that for sure, of course, because you just don't know what these youngsters are going to do into the future. If you look back over the last 5 or 6 years of the champions, they've all gone on to do lots of weird and wonderful things. Some successful, some not quite so successful, but in the main, they've all moved on to bigger things. And we'll wait and see what Max. He's certainly got lots of experience behind him so far this year, and I'm sure he just wants to get this championship wrapped up now. He is miles ahead of the field at the moment. This is the battle for second place. Number 81 then, Freddie Crane, rider from the Isle of Man. Up ahead of number 26, Alex Wood from Shipton Thorpe on the Rimmer Racing Aprilia. Further back we've got the likes of Jack Scott, Charlie Atkins, number 56. Yesterday, Cook picked up both race wins. It was Harry Phillips, actually, that finished in second in race 1 yesterday. Freddie Crane third, and then Crane and Wood, who you're looking at fighting for second and third, finished in second, third in race 2 yesterday. The Thundersport GB first crowned an Aprilia Super Team champion here in 2008 with Fraser Rogers. It was at this very circuit when we crowned a very young and tiny Fraser to his championship. That year he was fighting away with the likes of Bruce Winfield and Andy Reid for the title. And Josh Harland as well. There's so many names that have finished in the top 5 and 6 that you are seeing on a regular basis now. Just incredible, really, to know how they're all getting on. And that's the good thing, you know, you mention the names of Casey Stoner and Chaz Davies regularly when it comes to the super teams, and that's just 2 of lots. But it's the ones that have won the championships and been fighting for the championships in the last 4 or 5 years that's at the moment most pleasing to see them getting on with their business. There's number 16, that's Lee Harnett from Dublin, the Republic of Ireland. Last lap flag goes out there, and Max Cook is on his way to another impressive Aprilia Super Team win. He won both yesterday, he's on for the full house still. The KJD Racing rider, KJD Racing, who haven't really been going that long. That is John and Kay Downs that run that team. John, who previously was the Chief Marshal with Thundersport GB. They've got a real pool of talent going on at the moment with their setup. And Max Cook is one of just a few that could go on to become a real star of the future. You'll have to keep your eye on his progress. There is Alex Wood then, number 26. Alex looking like he's going to take second place here ahead of Freddie Crane. Freddie Crane third in the championship coming into this weekend. He'll have made some ground up on Charlie Atkins, who's a bit bashed around after a nasty incident here at Anglesey so far this weekend. Look at the form here. You can see the style of Max Cook. He really has got plenty of style. He's not having to work too hard. Of course, how hard do you push when you see your pit board and you can see that you've got a 20-odd second lead? How far do you go? There's Charlie Atkins, who at times this season has been able to push Max Cook, but it's not to be this weekend. The checkered flag comes out and Cook wins it. That's 3 out of 3 so far this weekend. A calm, cool and collected thumbs up from Max as he goes into turn 1. And he takes it 21.6 seconds ahead of Alex Wood in second. Freddie Crane finishes third, Jack Scott fourth. Charlie Atkins a solid 5th despite the injuries that he's carrying. Connor Thompson finishes in 6th place. There you can see Max Cook, Alex Wood and Freddie Crane, the top 3. And in the newcomers it's Cook, Wood and Jack Scott. In the Thundersport 500 Cup, it was Mark Leaning, the winner, from Dave Jeff and Mick Marshall.
Jack, third place. Fantastic, eh?
Yeah, good. Considering yesterday wasn't too good, yeah, it was a good race. Yeah.
You like Anglesey though?
Yeah, I like Anglesey. It's one of my favourite tracks so far of the season. Yeah, it's good.
Stayed sunny for you. Who have you got to thank?
I've got to thank Nick and Sophie and Les from the Two Wheel Centre, Chameleon Decorating, Aprilia, Dunlop and Thundersport.
Well done. Thanks very much, Jack. Freddie, third place. Wow, that's a good weekend for you.
Yeah, it's great. Definitely for the points. Like we've scored some back, and I think I'm second in the championship now. Had a great race with Alex. You know, it was difficult, but you know, unfortunately I got third, but get him in the next one.
But you've kept a lot of consistency of late, haven't you? And you keep pulling those podiums in.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, each race I just try to do the best I can, and I've been getting the points and keeping consistent, and that's the main thing. So.
Who do you want to thank, mate?
I'd like to thank Paul Debenham Performance, Alan and Val Cook, Azzy Paints, CES Isle of Man, Island Tires and Exhausts, and Aprilia Dunlop Thundersport.
Well done, Freddie. Alex, second place. You must be chuffed to bits with that. I mean, you didn't see Max Cook's bum, but it was pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it was some great racing with Freddie, and yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Was Freddie pushing you a bit?
Yeah, he kept coming up the inside, outside, just got to a bit early, stick my knee out, or whatever else, you know. Some great battles, hope for them all next round.
Who do you want to thank, Alex?
I've got to thank this race was done for Harry. Got massive thanks to Sarah, my stepmom, Jewson's Green Lane Depot, Transit Motorcycles, Motor Oil, PB Maintenance, who Paul comes to help out, GLP Storage Solutions, which is Graham, he also comes to support, my dad, my nana and granddad, Dan the man, and Ellie.
Well done, mate. Superb.
Cheers.
Now then, young man, what a race. I don't think anybody saw you for dust. But look, another thing is, I noticed you've changed your number to 130 for this round. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, sadly my granddad passed away last week, and he used to race number 13. So if you put my number and his number together, then it's together. So yeah, so I thought it'd be a nice thing to do.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. Well done. And who do you want to thank?
I'd like to say a big thank you to my mum and dad, KJD Racing, Fab Racing, M4 Karting, Uncle Roy, Kathy and Robert from Canada, 151s, King's Two Wheel Centre, Gloucester Bike Specialist, Thundersport, Aprilia and Dunlop.
Well done, Max. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
3 down, 3 to go. Join us again after the break for race 2 in the Aprilia RRV 450s. Welcome back to Anglesey. Time for race 2, the Aprilia RRV 450s. Everything to play for still in the championship. You saw the fat hand of Zach Corduroy earlier on, and must be rather painful. He's got a bigger glove on his right hand because he can't get his right hand into his normal glove. That just goes to show you what's going on there for Zach. There's Aaron Clifford, Irish rider, looking for another podium. Will Hodgson, definitely looking for some solid points. There's Sam Cox, 54. Sam Wilford there, number 35, championship leader. Lots of other riders, in fairness. Most of the riders inside the top 10 have all got a race win in them. It's just a matter of how you're feeling on the day and how you're getting on the circuits. Away from the line we go. Keep an eye on the 400s as well. Don't forget we've got championship leader Lewis Barnes, number 50 out there, and 99 Chris Gray. They are going for Andrew Carden, of course, on the podium as well in race 1. Here on board with Sam Cox on the RSR Motorsport Aprilia 450. He's just been overtaken there by Zach Corduroy. Don't be fooled by the fact that Zach has got Sam Wilford spare leathers on. Number 22 is Zach Corduroy, Sam Wilford number 35. Sam easier to pick out because he's got the green helmet to go with it. Aaron Clifford leads at the moment though. Number 19 from Will Hodgson as they make their way uphill into Rocket Corner. In third place it's just Sam Cox on the wide approach though, and he might just get gobbled up. No, he doesn't. He holds his line well there, Sam Cox. He shuts the door and he's in fourth. This time though, he'll be pleased to make it out of Rocket after what happened in the last race to him over there. Lewis Barnes, it looks like, has got off to a better start this time in the 400 dice. He's up there right alongside Chris Gray, but it's Clifford from Corduroy, Hodgson, and that's Danny Booth. Danny Booth just going underneath Sam Cox, who we're on board with now. Another of the KJD Racing riders there, Danny Booth, the reigning Nitro Newcomer champion, has just gone through, and he seems to be on a mission here in race 2. Number 75, just going through your shot there, was Andrew Carden, who finished 3rd in the Formula 400s earlier on. That was your race winner from earlier on, Chris Gray, just up ahead of Lewis Barnes, but for the outright victory in the 450s, Clifford it is at the moment that fights with Corduroy. Clifford number 19, Corduroy number 22. Zach Corduroy, the 2013 Aprilia Super Teen champion. Aaron Clifford, who's been on the podium regularly this season, has had a couple of podiums in the Super Teens himself over the years, but never did win the championship. Will Hodgson, he has been in the 450 class for some time. There's Sam Cox, just been overtaken there by last year's Super Twin champion, Sam Wilford. There's Cameron Lee, 58, then Ross Simpson, 55, and then Chris Gray. There's Keelan Irwin, he went down in race 1 along with Cameron Tenzing Jenkins. Didn't quite get to see what exactly happened there, but we wish Cameron all the best. I'm just trying to see whether or not he didn't get out in this race. I hope he's all right. We send our best wishes to him. And you heard Zach Corduroy in race 1 referring to Will Keynes and get well soon, and we echo those comments because Will had a massive crash here. He's broken his femur, which I know is making you wince right now. It's a horrible bone to break, of course, the biggest bone in your body. Will Keynes, Will, get well soon, mate. Hopefully we see you again soon. That might just be the end of his season, I fear. A femur break tends to be quite a lengthy process to recover from. Zach Corduroy it is that leads the race here. Zach, who after his monster crash where he gained his fat hand on Saturday, missed qualifying and then had to start from the back of the grid for yesterday's races, finished 2nd in one of them. A remarkable result from Zach, who's just having to deal with Aaron Clifford here. That was a wild line from Aaron, but it nearly worked for him. So yeah, Zach came from the back of the grid to finish in 2nd overall. Now, at Thundersport GB we have mega laps. So your laps from qualifying and your races on the first race day are all counted up, and then you get your grid positions from there. This is a great battle at the front though. We'll shut up about the previous days. Let's concentrate on the now. This is Aaron Clifford, number 19, trying to fend off Zach Corduroy. And look at Danny Booth, the KJD Racing rider, number 64 there, last year's Nitro Newcomer champion. What has he had for lunch between race 1 and now? Danny has been nibbling away as the season's gone on. He's had a couple of podiums, never had a race win, but he looks a different rider at the moment. Looking very, very fast indeed there in 3rd place. And in the background we then have the likes of Sam Wilford, Will Hodgson, Sam Cox and co. Around Church Corner we go. Clifford it is that has the advantage, number 19 from Zach Corduroy. Now in the slipstream, and look at Danny Booth. He's going to try and get past a pair of them. They think they're in a two-way battle. They're not anymore. Danny Booth will just stay in 3rd for now. He won't show his cards just yet. Corduroy it is that has taken the lead ahead of Clifford. I wonder if these two have any idea that they've got the company. There's Wilford and Will Hodgson, of course. They've both won plenty of races between them so far this season. The 450s always providing fantastic racing over the years. Last year's champion Ben Luxton, of course, involved in some epic racing. We've had Callan Cooper win the championship before, and plenty more to boot. James Folkard, who I mentioned earlier on, who will be this year's champion, I wonder. Zach Corduroy it is that leads this race from Aaron Clifford. Then it is Danny Booth there in 3rd place. Good stuff here from the 450 riders. I can tell you that in the 400s, Chris Gray is going to try and keep this championship alive for as long as physically possible. He is just ahead of his championship rival Lewis Barnes on circuit. You're looking at Zach Corduroy. How on earth is he racing without really getting himself seriously injured? Because that right hand, I just cannot believe he's racing with it, and racing at the front as well. It is impressive stuff. Danny Booth is now in 2nd place. He's got past Aaron Clifford, but Clifford takes that tight line in. Has it worked? We'll see in a moment. Corduroy it is with the lead. He's got about 2/10 now over Danny Booth. It didn't work for Aaron Clifford, and Clifford's having a look over his shoulder. I'm afraid it's bad news, Aaron. You have got Sam Wilford and Will Hodgson right behind you. So there's no rest for the wicked in the 450 class. Down into the corkscrew, and Danny Booth there has closed that gap down already brilliant stuff here for Booth. He is on the hunt for his first race win. And I just wonder whether, as the laps tick by, Zach Corduroy's hand is getting worse and worse. He'll be feeling the pain. He goes into turn 1, just ahead of Danny Booth, well, Aaron Clifford's just lost a bit on that last lap. He was about 4/10 slower than the riders around him. So I just wonder whether Aaron will be able to hold on to third ahead of Wilford and Will Hodgson further behind. It looks like at the moment it's going to be a race between two riders. Zach Corduroy, who won the opener, and Danny Booth, who's not won a race yet this season. And I'm sure that Danny's family and the KJD racing setup would be over the moon. It's looking like Danny Booth's Nitro Newcomer Championship is going to get taken away later on, and there he takes the lead of this race. The 450 man looks like he wants to get himself on the top step. A new helmet design here for this weekend for Danny, and it's proving to be very lucky indeed so far. We've still got a little way to go in this race as yet. We will not speak too soon, but things are looking very bright for him. There is Lewis Barnes, number 50. He's second at the moment in the Formula 400s. Out front then, it's Danny Booth that looks like he could be on the brink of picking up his first 450 win. He's got one lap to go. Zach Corduroy in second has a look over his shoulder to see whether or not that it can just be them two to dice it out, and it looks like it will be. Corduroy will not let Danny win this without a fight. Aaron Clifford's in third. I don't think he's got a say here. He's not close enough to these guys. He's got Sam Wilford to worry about in the battle for third overall. Danny Booth, what must he be thinking right now as he heads around Church Corner? When he saw that last lap flag, it would have been a relief, but he'd rather see the checkered flag. And now we head onto the back straight. So far, so good. Corduroy's not anywhere near close enough to make a move there. And now Corduroy's got to put together a clean couple of corners to try and have a go at Danny Booth, probably down into the corkscrew. It's very difficult to get a move done on the last corner onto the start-finish straight. So really, if it's not done by the corkscrew, Danny Booth has a fair chance at this. Let's hold our breath and wait and see. Down the hill we go, and Corduroy's not close enough. There's a bit of traffic though, and that will not be pleasing for Danny Booth. Let's see what happens around the final turn. Oh my word. And it's all over the place. The checker flag is out there, and he's done it. The first win in the 450 class for Danny Booth, and the KJD racing team have another win to their name here this weekend. What a race that was from Danny. Whatever he has had for lunch, I want some of it. Zach Corduroy takes second place, another solid 20 points for him. Aaron Clifford's third. Sam Wilford, the championship leader, has to settle for fourth this time ahead of Will Hodgson. And Sam Cox is in sixth. There's a very happy and smiley Danny Booth then. Race winner ahead of Zach Corduroy and Aaron Clifford. And in the 400s, Chris Gray gets 25 points ahead of Lewis Barnes and Andrew Carden. In the championship, well, Sam Wilford has got it, but not by much. Zach Corduroy is climbing that table. He's gone from fourth up to second. Cameron Lee has popped down to third. Hodgson fourth, Clifford fifth, Danny Booth in sixth. And in the Formula 400s, it's still Barnes in charge, but Chris Gray has just eaten into that championship lead a little.
Aaron, please tell me Dad's going to be happy now.
Hope so anyway. Just was a good race. I just lost at home midway and just struggled a little bit, but glad to be on the podium.
Zach Attack, fantastic showing this weekend, particularly after how the weekend started with the naughty hand.
Yeah, it's getting pretty warm out there. Hand was starting to hurt in that last race near the end. And yeah, Danny was putting in some good last laps. Just couldn't really keep up with him. Massive well done to him.
Danny, what a lovely joy it is to see you up here. So well done. How did you feel about that? Such a tough race.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a hard race with Zach, obviously. Zach's been just on it all weekend. He's and I've been quite far behind, but to get even near the front is good, and then having the win's just amazing. Yeah, it's my first win, so I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
It is your first win, and the thing is, to beat Zach is a very difficult job because he was on it, absolutely right. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank KJD Racing for being an amazing team. My mum and dad, obviously, just getting me here. I wouldn't be here at all without them. So yeah, and Longton Batteries, CPL Transport, George Anderson for my pit board, and Ian Newton, Gibbo. Yeah, everyone else who's helped me, Aprilia, and everyone. there's a lot of people.
There always is a lot of people to help. Well done.
Yeah, well done, Danny. We'll be seeing him at the next round at Donington. Coming up after the break, though, it's race 2 for the Super Twins. Welcome back, race 2 for the Super Twins, and the man on your right there, number 11, James Folkard, can become champion here in this race. I won't bore you with the mathematics. If he wins the race, he's champion. He can still finish champion through various other ways, but Bradley Peary has to finish ahead of him and some, number 97, to prevent James Folkard from becoming champion in this race. There is Brad Peary. I'm pretty sure that they're not too worried about it. It's written in the wind here that it's going to happen probably. On pole position there is Johnny Towers. I said he was on a Suzuki 650 earlier. That is, of course, a Kawasaki for the number 17 rider that can't quite keep that front wheel on the deck. Into turn 1, that looks like James Folkard, who got the whole shot. Brad Peary went for the wide route and seems to have got away with it rather well, and now he goes for the wide line into the banking as well. We'll keep an eye on him on the left of the screen. There's Folkard, though. Folkard, oh, blimey, Johnny Towers, where's he going? That's the wrong direction. He clipped the curb on the inside, and he's gone down and out of the race, number 17, and that's Brad Peary. He's taken Brad Peary out along with it, and he's absolutely livid with that. Now let's have a look. Towers knocks into, that's your, oh my, well, how unlucky can you get? Brad Peary, poor Brad, gets wiped out. I'm sorry, Johnny, that is your crash, my friend. He's gone up the inside. He's whacked into James again. He's obviously got something against you, James, because he's tried to wipe you out of 2 races now. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. That's the way it goes. Now, Brad Peary going out of that race means only one thing. I wonder if James saw that. I don't think he would have done. Will he know yet that effectively he's already champion? Well, there's no effectively about it. He is the champion. So well done, James, as he comes through the corkscrew with a huge lead ahead of Sam Wilford. That's Paul Cunvin in 3rd overall, the leader of the Street Riders. Then Kia McGreevy, number 70, followed by Sam Cox, number 54. 26 in the background is Dan Taylor leading the Stock Twins. Well, what drama we had on the opening lap and into the banking there. Johnny Towers just taking a really tight line around the hairpin, clipping the inside of the curbing, whacking into Folkard, crashing, and then wiping out Brad Peary. So 2 of the big hitters out of the race already. And that has left James Folkard with a huge win. So he has got a great opportunity here of taking this championship with a race win. He's already got the championship, it's just a race win now that he's got to get. So there we have it. There is last year's championship, Sam Wilford, with the number 1 plate on his 550. Then it's 81 Paul Cunvin, then Kia McGreevy, then 54 Cox, 26 Dan Taylor on the direct commercial Suzuki rider from Curtin Lindsay. Folkard's lead is pretty big there. I'm not sure they're going to be able to close that down unless there's some sort of mistake from the Liverpool man, number 11, out there on the Scott Racing Motorcycles Aprilia. What a year it's been for James Folkard. He and Brad Peary really have gone at it this year. Brad Peary has had a couple of crashes here and there. As you can see, that one not really through any fault of his own. He's had a few mechanical failures. Who knows which way the championship would have gone. They could have been going toe-to-toe into the final round. As it is, Folkard has taken it, and it's a 3rd championship by my counting for James Folkard. And it's 3 championships on 3 different Aprilias. Now, Ian Newton, I know you're watching. You'll have to go through your little record books here. You might probably know off the top of your head as to whether or not anyone has won 3 championships on 3 different makes of Aprilia. Now, the only name that springs to mind that I can think of that may have done it is Marshall Neal. I know he won a 250 Aprilia Challenge, and he won the Aprilia Melee Championship. Did he win anything else in Aprilia? Who knows? Answers in the post box, and I don't know. I think that Folkard could be the first to do it, unless, of course, it's been done at World Championship level. But that seems unlikely at the moment. Maybe 125, 250, but what else? Oh, Biaggi. Biaggi, of course. No, he won 250s, didn't he? And then he won. I'll shut up there. We'll leave you to it, Nuke. There's number 19, that's Neil Schofield, up ahead of Mark Biswell. Mark Biswell's beautifully turned out machine won best turned out bike here this weekend. What's that worth, I hear you cry? Well, he gets a free test day for that. So that's a little note to all of you Thunder Sporters out there. Get your polish out, get your stickers out, because if you get the best turned out bike, you get a free test day, and that will be going to Mark Biswell, no doubt. He'll use that up at Donington in our next round. He thoroughly deserves it, I have to say, because I saw it roll out at Rockingham and I thought, wow, that's an eyeful. And it certainly is. Bearing in mind, that is Cinderella's story. That bike, Mike was telling me, was an absolute pile when he picked it up. But he's managed to turn it into beauty. This race then, Folkard in charge. This is the battle for second place between Sam Wilford, Paul Cunvin and Keir McGreevy. McGreevy's out there on a Kajiva. Paul Cunvin's out there on a Honda CBR with flat bars on it to turn into a Street Fighter, and Sam Wilford's on an Aprilia 550, and 3 completely different machines, and yet look at them, all glued to each other on the circuit, and just behind them is a Suzuki 650 of Dan Taylor's as well. So it just goes to show you, you don't need always one make machinery to produce a good race. All sorts of machinery going on here, and Paul Cunvin has used the advantage of that 600 CBR and has gone past Sam Wilford now. Paul Cunvin currently leading the Street Fighter Extreme and Street Fighter Championships. Looks like, all things being well, he'll have that sewn up by Donington in the next round. Lovely guy, Paul, always got a smile on his face, always up for a good giggle. Of course, was fighting long and hard for the Street Fighter B Championship last year with Brian Strafford, that eventually going to Strafford. Now, when a camera pans back like that, I always initially panic, because I thought that there might have been someone down. No panic, don't worry folks, everyone's alright. There's Mark Biswell once more, number 35, rider from Quainton on that Bizzle Bike Sport Honda. Last lap flag out for James Folkard then, and he can enjoy this final lap. He'll already know that he's champion, I'm sure, by now. There's Sam Wilford, who's really fighting on that 550 to get back past Paul Cunvin, and has done so. Well done to Sam, last year's champion. Well, he can enjoy his last lap now as a Thundersport champion, because that number 1 plate, well, he can effectively, he's allowed to sport it until the end of the season, but I wonder if he will or not, or will he allow Folkard to take it up? Anyway, James Folkard is on his way then to that other championship. James has struggled, you know, for sponsorship over the last few years. I've often wondered why, because every time he jumps on a bike, he is quick and he's fighting for wins. He's proved it in the GP1 class, last time out in a BMW, this weekend on an Aprilia RSV4. There's an interesting line from Mr. Buchanan. Jimmy Buchanan there from Loughborough has decided that he doesn't like rocket, he'd rather go on the grass. Well, you never know, it might be good for your lap times. We'll keep an eye on him when he comes back round. But on this final lap, Cunvin going one way, Sam Wilford going the other. But for now, let's sit back and give a round of applause to the 2015 Super Twins champion. James Folkard has done it on the Scott Motorcycles 550. There's Sam Wilford, last year's champion, has gone across the line there ahead of Paul Cunvin, but it really is all about this man. James Folkard has done it for this season. He's taken the championship that he aimed to get at the start of the year. Paul Cunvin finishes in 3rd and wins the Street Fighter battle. Keir McGreevy is in 4th. Dan Taylor wins the Stock Twins. He's in 5th. Sam Cock is in 6th place. So Folkard, Wilford and Keir McGreevy, the top 3 in the Super Twins. Then you've got Dan Taylor, Charlie Oakland and Neil Schofield in the Stock Twins, and in Street Fighters Paul Cunvin is the winner from Mark Biswell and Mick Riddle. Confirmation, if you needed it, that James Folkard is the champion. You can see his numbers there highlighted in yellow. He is ahead of Brad Peary, who actually does move ahead of Daniel Taylor in the championship despite that crash there. In the Stock Twins, Dan Taylor, well, there you see, 200 points available. He only needs 25 more, and he's got it ahead of Greg Badiro. Charlie Oakland 3rd, then Aaron Bradley, Neil Schofield following. Street Fighters, Paul Cunvin likewise. Looks like he'll have that one sewn up at Donington Park. He's ahead of Mick Riddle, Mark Biswell, Rob Pragnell, Andy Castle and Andrew Pugh.
James Folkard, 2007 Super Team champion, 2011 Aprilia 450 champion, and now not only the winner of this race today, but 2015 Super Twin Championship. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take it all at all. I've got T. Scott, Ivan, Gary, of course. I've got Charlie, Mum, Dad, Colette, Dave Smith, and of course Ian Newton from In Competition. All them boys. Sorry, Dave Lewis. I always forget Dave Lewis. He's an absolute massive thing behind in our team, and no, a big thanks to all them all year. The bike's been so consistent and reliable. They've made life absolutely, just as easy as can possibly be. As also I say sorry to Johnny and Brad, who I only saw them absolute last minute when I was bringing it back, and as I tried to sit up, we just touched and they went down. So apologies to them, obviously, but no, it was lovely to ride around and win the championship with a win, of course, as well. So that was fantastic. Yeah,
that's certainly a great way to go and win the championship. Thank you.
Oh, cheers, bud. Thank you very much to Thundersport, everybody else, Oasis Bar, Max and Suspension. There's tons more. Thank you to everyone who's helped us all year.
Well done to you, James. We'll see you out at the next round, I'm sure. Coming up after the break, the Aprilia Super Teens. Welcome back. It's the final part then of GP Racing Dream and the Aprilia Super Teens Race 2 coming up. I don't think there'll be many people that can stop this young man here. KJD Racing's Max Cook with the number 130 on the number plate there. He can be crowned Nitro Newcomer champion here in this race. See how he gets on. A number of other riders, of course, fighting for second in the championship, and it's that is something worth fighting for, second in the championship. A number of riders over the years that have finished runner-up in the Super Teen Championship have gone on to good things. I'll start the proceedings off with one name for you, Chaz Davies. He's not too bad, is he? Into turn one we go. Max Cook it is that gets the whole shot, number 130, and then it really is a toss of the coin as to who goes in second. It looks like Freddie Crane might just have it from Alex Wood, and it is Freddie Crane in second, followed by Alex Wood. Then number 39, Connor Sellers. Nice to see Connor out there after a strong performance at Rockingham. No sign that time around. Oh no, yeah, he is there, sorry. For a moment I didn't see Charlie Atkins, but there he is, just going straight past us. Not a great start for Charlie, but of course he's got a bit of work to do from quite far back on the grid. There is Max Cook though, already getting down to business, looking like being the Nitro Newcomer champion. That's interesting. He's going to take that title away from a rider that races in the same team, Danny Booth, who picked up that 450 win a little while ago. So great things to come for Max. I wonder where he will end up racing next season. There's Alex Wood then in second place ahead of Freddie Crane now. Then it's Connor Sellers. Then just behind Connor Sellers is Max Lofthouse, number 24. Then just behind Max Lofthouse, I think, was Cade Verwey. I'm not 100% sure on that actually. We'll get a glimpse of that in a moment. It's actually Charlie Atkins. So Charlie Atkins is there as well, just trying to make up some ground. Currently second overall in the championship is Charlie. Max Cook already clearing off into the distance. He's not even having to go as quick as he was in race one. I think he's worked out that there's no point in trying to blow up one of these bikes, which is very easy to do, let me tell you. These bikes can pop from time to time and have done on many occasions. There's Jack Scott, number 55, up ahead of 24, Max Lofthouse, and just going around the outside of Lofthouse there is Charlie Atkins. These bikes are all identical, but you can see from the size of Charlie Atkins, he's about the same size as my kneecap, so he doesn't have a lot of weight, and therefore his bike flies. He doesn't have to get tucked in on the bike, he already is tucked in on that Aprilia 125 production motorcycle. He is a big talent, by the way, Charlie Atkins, make no mistake about it. He's just been bashed around a bit these last couple of rounds. You're going to be seeing a lot more of him, and you'll hear his name. Lovely lad as well, is Charlie. But, Max Cook at the moment is definitely the best of the bunch, and when you hear Max talking on the podium, it's hard to believe that he's 12 years old. 12 years of age. That is just absolutely insane. Such a wise head on young shoulders. He's been racing for some time, and they don't try and hide that, the family. They're quite keen to let everyone know that he's been racing for some time in all sorts of things. Mini moto, Metra Kit, Well, that is how it all goes. Some riders start in their late teens, others start young. You look at the likes of Marc Marquez. He started very young, of course. There'll be a lot of people watching this moment. Age is just a number. Certainly some of the old codgers that are racing in the Thundersport 500s anyway. I'm sure they'll be cursing at the thought of me saying that youth is the way forward in terms of racing. It certainly seems to benefit if you can get started early on. Super Teens has got proven pedigree. And here is the championship leader, Max Cook. Nice and easy does it through the corkscrew here at Anglesey. He's already a good 13, 14 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Onto the start-finish straight he goes. It's looking very much like he will be the Nitro Newcomer champion. Here's the battle for second then. That is Alex Wood that has the advantage so far. There's the battle for second place. Alex Wood, number 26, up ahead of. Now that is difficult to read on the front of there, but that's actually a 25. Now that is a loaned bike. That's Ben Gautry's old race bike, loaned to him by the Ben Gautry Foundation, of course, help out a lot of the youngsters here in the Super Teen Championship. Ben won his final ever Super Teen race at Rockingham. That was in 2009. Ben, who sadly lost his life at an accident in Cadwell Park, and the family still big supporters of Thundersport and of course the Aprilia Championship. Ben went on to win the Aprilia 450 Championship, and that is the bike that Connor Thompson is out. I thought I saw a number 25 out earlier on, but now speak of the devil, there he is, and he's pulled over onto the side, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Unfortunately, Connor parking the bike up. Now what's that? That's the foot peg, is it, or the gear linkage that's hanging down from the side of the bike? So Connor Thompson wisely steps off and pushes it to one side. That's sad to see, but he was up there fighting for a podium at that point. There's Max Lofthouse then. He's up ahead of Rhys Irwin from Letterkenny, another one of the Scott Motorcycle Racing riders, of course, younger brother of Keelan Irwin in the 450s. They're in the same team as Mr. Folkard, who won the Super Twins race just before the break. At the moment, it is Max Cook that leads the race. This is Jack Scott. Now that's a Thundersport 500 bike in the mix with them, and Thundersport 500 has set off. They've got their own Thundersport 500 Cup race going on. I mentioned old codgers earlier on. I might as well reel off one or two of them. They're going to kill me for saying this at the next round. Dave Jeff is leading at the moment from Mick Marshall. Elliot Humphrey, he's not an old codger. He's third at the moment in that. Lara Small's out there as well. She's having a good run. There are one or two old codgers, but I won't name names. There's a lack of adhesion flag just being shown there at School Corner as the riders approach up towards Rocket. A lot of people sometimes see that flag and immediately think that there's oil out, and that's not necessarily the case. It is a lack of adhesion. That can mean that there's some debris on the circuit, knee slide or anything like that. So it's not always a major cause for concern. It's just making you aware that you're about to approach a section of the circuit where there could be something laying on the circuit. Last lap flag is out then, and Max Cook is well on his way here to picking up another win. It will be another full house, and it will be the Nitro Newcomer Championship if it stays the way it is. Jack Scott has moved up into second place ahead of Alex Wood. Charlie Atkins closing down on that group as well. So Charlie looking to get himself onto the podium here. Last gasp. It's been a good race actually for Charlie. He's been making his way through the pack and now fights for a podium on this final lap. Max Cook then, he will not get the Aprilia Super Teen Championship outright here, but he will win the Nitro Newcomers with this result. There is Jack Scott, who's on for second. Jack from Luton on the JJ Racing Aprilia. And at the moment, Alex Wood, number 26, on the Rimmer Racing Aprilia is on for second. In fourth, catching them, but probably not close enough at the moment, is 56 Charlie Atkins from Gould on the Metcalf Autos Aprilia. Here is Jack Scott and Alex Wood. Alex Wood looks like he wants to try and get that second place at the moment. You can see Alex Wood just a little taller at the moment than Jack Scott with that Lorenzo replica helmet. The checkered flag goes out there and Max Cook has done it. It's a full house for him, and that is the Nitro Newcomer Championship for the rookie for this year. Hard to believe that he's just 12 years old Well done to Max Cook. I think the main championship is going to follow very shortly. Jack Scott finished in second. And what happened to Alex Wood on the final lap? He finished in 6th. Charlie Atkins then inherits 3rd place and moves up ahead of Freddie Crane. And there is the top 3. Max Cook, Jack Scott and Charlie Atkins, all of them Nitro newcomers. And it is Dave Jeff with the win ahead of Mick Marshall and Elliot Humphrey. So championship standings, very close. He only needed 8 points there to take the overall championship today. Max Cook will have to wait another round. He's ahead of Freddie Crane, Charlie Atkins, Jack Scott, Connor Thompson and Harry Phillipson in the newcomers. Confirmation there that he has taken it ahead of Charlie Atkins, Jack Scott, Connor Thompson, Alex Wood and Reese Irwin in 6th place.
Charlie, fantastic result today. You had a really nasty accident yesterday on the start line. You got clipped there. Are you okay, first of all?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Just got a bit of bruising and a graze, but I'll be all right.
You're hard. I wish I was as hard as you, I tell you. Did you have a great race?
Yeah, it was very good from the back. It was a tough race. I'm lucky for Alex as well with the jump start, but he did really well as well, so good race.
Excellent. Anybody you want to thank, Charlie?
Yeah, big thanks to my mum and my dad for helping me through it all. My uncle Lee, everyone who supported me, come and watching, my nana and granddad, and Dunlop Aprilia from the spot.
Jack, well that was a great run. You've had a great weekend actually, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a great weekend. Yeah, it's just been amazing really, yeah.
I mean, I noticed that was quite a tough battle there actually. You know, quite close. Did you know who was behind you?
Yeah, I knew it was behind me. I didn't have a great start either, so I had to just come through the pack, yeah.
Well, Max, what can I say? I mean, it's almost a perfect weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, another perfect weekend, yeah, and really enjoyed it here. It's been such a lovely weekend, like spending time with friends, like going down to the beach. It's been awesome.
It certainly has, and we're going to sail away to the next round. 2 to go in Thundersport GB Championships. We'll see you at Donington Park next month.